guys, God bless. Welcome back to my channel. I am Charlene, and today I want to get on camera and discuss how I feel about Bible journaling. This is a feeling I've been fighting for a long time, and it's a little embarrassing because I put so much time and money and energy and effort into this, and it's so hard because you have to admit that when you're wrong, or especially if you already have people like backing you. But yeah. So y'all know that I OD'd. I OD'd in buying Bibles in general. Like, I had a really decent collection. Like, at first it was like, I gotta have all translations and study Bibles. And then I needed pretty Bibles, and then I needed journaling Bibles, and then I needed all types of journaling Bibles. And if you don't know what I mean by types, you know, there's the ones with just lines. There's the one, or note-taking is what they call it, like just the lines for note-taking. There's the creative journaling Bibles where you have lines and artwork to color. Then there's just the wide margin Bibles, or like just for notes only, where there's no lines or anything, but it's understood that the space you have is for whatever you want to do. So my top two will obviously be Inspire and Journal the Word, because Journal the Word is blank. It just has lines, and I'm a big note taker, so I appreciate that. And then if I wanted to add a little pizzazz, I could. And then the Inspire Bible, you get the best of everything, because depending on how you feel for a certain day or in a certain book, you may say, I want to read, color, and write notes, or you maybe just want to read and color, or you just want to read and write notes, or you just want to read. Like, it's up to you, but the choice is there. Now, fast forward to a while back, I want to say before the summer actually, when I had this whole breakdown of, I think my fact was right before COVID, or right before, after I had COVID, and I was like, I feel some type of way. And I think what happened was, with COVID, you start to realize, okay, do what you absolutely have to, and then don't worry about the rest, because you don't have energy like that. You don't feel well. And my thing was, I want to stay rooted in God's word. I still wanted to read my Bible, but when it came to like coloring and drawing and doing the extra stuff, it's like, I just don't have it in me, and it's not important right now. You know, like, you just want to get God's word in you. So I felt like that was the start of something beautiful. Even though I was fighting it at first, and I thought it was something dark and ugly, because I'm like, yo, I done bought all these Bibles. I look stupid. But then I thought to give them away, and I've been doing giveaways ever since. So that was back like March, April. So every month I give at least one Bible away, and just really just being a blessing to other people. And then recently, like I said, I've been having some really serious conversations with my kids, my husband, and especially my daughter, about like our interests, like in the Bible and translations and how we feel. And bittersweet moment was when my daughter confessed and said, I'm not really into Bible journaling like that, but it's cool. And I'm like, I thought we had something. And it hurt my feelings at first, but then I went back to how I felt, and I'm like, okay, Shara, you keep saying that you think it's cool too, and you're interested in it a little bit, or even a lot, but not as much as you are passionate about just note-taking and really getting to learn God's word. And I'm like, you said the same thing, just not as blunt, I guess. And I had to come to this conclusion where I had to admit wrongs. Like, I started going through my stuff, and I've been telling y'all about it. I've been going through, organizing, taking out the unnecessary, and just really focus on what matters. And like I said, for me, all I need is the Bible, the blank space, a pen, and a highlighter. Like, that is it. I am drawn into the sticky notes, because when you run out of space, you can just add space. So I do plan on keeping that. But yeah, I've been going through like the pens and stuff, and now I'm just really specific. Like, okay, I know which one I'm going to use and which one I'm not. That's plain and simple. Um, but I've been doing like some reorganizing, like redoing my shelves, putting Bibles here, there, like out of sight, out of mind, and just really trying to feel where I'm at. And like I said, the bittersweet moment comes where it's like, okay, God, I was crazy enough to feed into the temptation of buying all these Bibles, but they're going to be a blessing to someone. And I thank God for that. And it's like I said, what really got me here where I say, okay, Shar, you need to wake up because this is a problem. Like I said, I start praying, God, what is wrong with me? And one of the things that he gave me was I was dealing with discontentment. And what was funny was because a lot of YouTubers came out and said the same thing. And we're all kind of in the same field, category, or genre of YouTube video or content. And I'm like, that's the word. Because I never heard the word before, I don't think. I heard of contentment, and discontentment obviously is the opposite. So I'm like, oh, that's me. Like, I'm always finding error. I'm always finding fault. I'm always trying to make an excuse. And the biggest thing that I realized that I had to confess and had to ask God to forgive me for, even now, is that I get to a point where I tell God no. Like, and even a two-way, this is dual, because obviously my husband is the head of my life because I am married, and my husband is my husband and then God. But obviously in honoring my husband, I'm honoring God, you know. And a lot of times I remember he got to a point when he said, that's enough. That is enough. Like, no. And it was no on his end for sure. Like, I can't come to him and say, can you buy this Bible? Because the answer is no. And then even when I try to use my own resources, he's like, no, no more. And it's like, and before anybody even goes there, like, okay, your husband tell you what to do, blah, blah, blah. That's not this video, but I do honor my husband. He is the head of finances. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so he brings home the bacon. So, and he's very reliable and responsible. Like, so much so that that's probably caused me to kind of crutch on him for stability. But anyway, another scenario. But I had to come to a realization that I honestly, by me counteracting what he said, I was also dishonoring God, and I was also telling God no. Like, my husband trying to tell me no, and I'm trying to tell him no, and I'm also telling God no. And any little dollar I got, I'm like, okay, let me get this type of Bible. Let me get this type of Bible. And I even went as far as to say, okay, for my birthday and Christmas, y'all, like, just get me this Bible. That, like, didn't even ask for regular things anymore. And it got to a point where it's like, I probably really could have used some sweatpants or something, you know? And like I said, I tried my best to look at it positively because I was being a blessing to people and I was giving things out. But at the end of the day, now I'm to the point where I'm like, okay, now I have a complete attachment to what's left, and I don't see myself giving these away. One, and two, I even still find my way online, like looking at different options for journaling Bibles, and I know that it's not okay, but I've been having self-control. But what really got me like, bruh, chill out, was when I went to the Goodwill and I saw this, and at first glimpse, I'm like, okay, God, this is a good deal. This is a blessing. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to take this home. It's only $5, but that was like my last $5. And truth be told, like, after that point, it was a regret. I'm like, I really needed that for something else. I think it was like gas or something. And I'm like, that's a problem, because God wouldn't put you in a situation where you're going to lack or be in need or cause an issue in another area in your life. Like, that's not a blessing at all. A blessing is a blessing. Like, blessings don't hurt. And like, and that was the conflicting thing, because like I said, people were sending me Bibles for free, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm not paying for them, so that's not hurting me. But then when it gets to a point where it's like, if I would have just been patient, because most of the Bibles that was sent to me was ones that I was eyeballing, I couldn't afford, or I was trying to have self-control. But I'm saying all that to say that I'm about to start a new year. And in this new year, I am going to be more so focusing on note taking and not journaling. So you probably won't see much of that at all. Um, and I already reorganized my shelf, which you guys see that video where the journalings Bibles are at the bottom of the barrel, because I really want to emphasize that in my mind and my heart. Like, don't go there unless you have to. And that could be out of boredom or, anxiety or trying to calm my nerves, because one thing I will not take away from this is that journaling does help with my anxiety, and it does help me calm down because I have to focus and color and, pay attention to details. So that does help. But I now understood, okay, God, why did I run into the same Bible that I already have? I already have this Journal of the Word NIV, but it's real colorful and vibrant, and I already did like stickers and washi tape, all that stuff. But with this one, I probably won't even tab it, and I'm going to dive in it probably today, and I'll do that on camera with you guys. And I also have another Journal of the Word that I found online a long time ago, and I had decorated and then undecorated. Like, if y'all remember, I had did all this, but then I went to try to add something else to it and ruined it. So I'm like, okay, God, a blank canvas and tabs. So my husband teaches from New King James. So if I'm doing anything on that channel, the Twist and Shout channel, or with his channel, the Wholehearted Christian channel, it's going to be in here. This is a brand new, unused Bible. Yes, I've still got the theme on the inside. I'll leave that alone. But for the most part, this one's going to be just straight note-taking as well, because this is what he teaches from, New King James. So that will be used for him in church. And my own personal thing on a regular basis, I will be in here. And like I said, I probably won't even tab this. So I'm still going to go along with my reading plan right here as much as I possibly can. And I'm going to do my devotion reading out of here, what little bit I do. And I don't do it often. But I'm going to, like, it is crazy because I'm about to stop mid-study, because I was in here reading Ezekiel, and I'm on Ezekiel 21, but I'm about to finish out in that Bible. And I'm about to just, I can take that out now because I was doing something. But like I said, I picked this one and I gravitated to it because it's beautiful, it's pretty, but I get so focused on that I don't really dig in here and, really study. And I even said, okay, I'm going to use this one for you guys when I'm studying with you guys, and my whole justification was it's pretty. And it'll make good eye candy, but I really want you guys to focus on God's word and not be distracted like I was. So I'm going to just put them back down there. And so yeah, I quit for right now. And yes, it hurts. And yes, it's confusing because, well, it's not confusing. I made it confusing because, like I said, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're talking 7 Bibles in. Wait, journaling Bibles only. I'm sorry. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 journaling Bibles in. Too much. And the like I said, I'm honestly to the point where I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but all I know is for right now, the only one I see maybe parting from is this one, and I cannot see myself parting from it, not because it is a pretty journaling Bible, but because it's ESV, and it's the only ESV I have. And I'm not just saying it just to hold on to this, because literally if somebody came to me tomorrow and gave me like the ESV Jesus Bible, that's the one I've been having my mind on, because it still has space for note-taking, but I like the concept of Jesus Bible, and it doesn't have all the little pretty stuff. But other than that, like, I don't know. So I'm jumping to New King James because I do want to try to make a habit of reading from word for word translation, because I've been really into thought for thought, and I need to step it up. So That's the only reason. But I'm about to put these on the shelf down here. So they're going to be at the bottom, out of my space, out of my hair. And I'm going to study in this. And like I said, I'm going to do that on camera. My first writing's in there. So you guys going to catch that. And y'all pray for me because, like I said, I'm really anxious. And I've been, like, literally, I will pick these Bibles up and put them back down because they're new, they're blank, and they're not fancy. And I just keep looking down like, well, that one's pretty. And that one's already got my mark on it. But I really need to focus on what matters. And I need to eliminate distractions. And who knows, I may get in here and realize that nothing has changed about me and go right back here. But one thing's for sure, that I need self-control and I need to be content at whatever I have now. And like I said, after I have my honest conversation with my husband, I need to at least get to a point where I can say no more. Like, no desire to buy no Bibles for whatever excuse at all. Even right now, I'm thinking about the ESV thing. I'm like, I don't want to buy another Bible. And I may not. Like, I may just hold on to this just because it's ESV. But y'all pray for me as I go through this. And obviously, I love you guys. And I thank you guys for sticking this out with me. I'm sorry if all the beautiful, pretty stuff got you here. I do plan on making notes. I do plan on having my notes organized and pretty. And eligible, I guess that's the word I'm looking for. Not necessarily pretty, but eligible. So, yeah. And I plan on doing studies with you guys and reading Christian books and try to be as interesting as possible. But I have to do what's going to keep me saved and sanctify me. And if that means ditching the journaling or the journaling Bibles, then I have to do that. So here we are. I love you guys. God bless. Take care. Bye.